and welcome to the Connection Compass podcast. I'm your host, Andrea L Evans. Today, I'm joined by Pam Shanker, a transformational and business coach, founder of the Universe Café, property investor, and lifelong dreamer. Pam's story is one of courage, colour, and conscious creation. In this conversation, we explore what it means to make a split decision that changes the course of your life, to choose your own destiny with trust and no fear. In this episode, we talk about seeing possibility where others see obstacles, the importance of connection and community, and how manifesting isn't just about wishing, it's about knowing. Pam also shares how she pivoted into coaching, the story behind the Universe Business Café, and her relationship with the secret and the law of attraction. Hello, Pam, and welcome to the Connection Compass. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm really looking forward to the discussion that we're going to have today. So, for our listeners, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So I am a transformational coach. I was a civil servant for many years, a senior officer running teams and task force activity. And then I just woke up one morning, read an article about a lady that had done really well in property. And I just thought, I'd like to do that. So I gave up my job and I went into property, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just knew that I'd work it out. And then I grew a property portfolio and helped other people grow their wealth through property. And then after COVID, I realised I really missed people. So that's then when I decided to set up a community and become a transformational coach and empower other people to live their dream and realise that we don't have to do things in the same way again and again and again. We do actually get to choose. So I help people transform their life and business.
You know, in your career in civil service and working up to that moment where you woke up and you just made that decision, did you have any underlying inkling that you were ready for a change, or did it just happen just like that? It was just that split
Yeah.
moment.
It just happened. So I went straight out of education into the civil service, and I'm from a family of public servants, and I'd just been trained as a child to work hard, get a job, work hard, get promoted, work hard, get promoted, and that was going to be the trajectory of my life till I retired. And that I was very happy doing that for many, 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 many years. And then they started closing offices and people were made redundant and, given packages and the atmosphere just changed. And so the last 18 months or so, when I was in the situation, I wouldn't have acknowledged that I wasn't happy. But looking back, I was. So they say that when the student is ready, the master appears. And
Yeah.
that definitely happened to me.
And what would you say your overarching mission is in this new career that you've forged?
So I woke up one morning and decided to do something different. I had another 20 years till I could get my pension, and I decided, do I want to continue doing that for someone else, or do I want to do it for me? And I decided I wanted to do it for me. I wanted to explore the possibility of doing something different. And the lady that I mentioned before, she was running a course to give back to women. She'd done really, really well in property. And I just thought, I'd like to do that course and learn all about property. And so in doing that, in changing the way I was doing things, in not having a job anymore and being self-employed and then setting up my own businesses, other people around me started to look at me and think, like my sister, for example, she decided she wanted to spend some more time with the children rather than be an assistant head. So she gave up a job and took a different career path, so that she could spend time with the children. So my mission really is to say to everybody and to spread the word that you are not chained to whatever you are doing now, that in every day you get to wake up and you get to choose what you do. You get to choose your destiny. You get to choose the future. You get to choose what your dreams and your passions, and you get to go and follow them. You don't have to feel stuck.
Yeah, it's when we're on that conveyor belt that it is very difficult to see that there are other options. And sometimes it's almost like a process that's layered that you're waking up to. That's how I would describe it for me. I know that lots of people are different, but and especially in the current climate, it can be very difficult to see that there are other options. Yeah.
And I liken my civil service career to sort of battleship grey, and I liken the working life that I'm living now to living in full colour, and I just want to show people the full colour, that there is
Yeah.
colour there.
You decided to go into property. You said you weren't so sure what you were doing, but you just knew that you were going to work it out. So can you tell us that journey and how those pieces fitted together?
Right. So I woke up this one morning, read this article about this lady that had done really well in property, and then just found out all about her, realised she was running this course, and just thought, I would really love to do that. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just knew that whatever it would take, I would do it. Whatever obstacles would be in my path, I would work it out. There was no fear. I had no fear. I just knew that I was going to do it and I was going to make it work. And so I read the article on the 14th of October 2016, handed my notice in on the 5th of December, and then left at the end of January and started my property company in
Wow.
February. Started the course as well in the February. And then by the September, I didn't even know what an HMO was, a house of multiple occupancy, when I started. But by the September, I'd bought a terraced house, taken it back to brick. And it was then being converted into an HMO, which then went to a housing association for homeless men. So that
Yeah.
was a real win-win for me. And then from there, just grown a portfolio of single lets. But it was very much about networking. They say that your network is your net worth. There was fear in that regard, because putting myself out there I found really challenging. Putting myself into new situations. I'm not saying that any of it was easy. It was all of it
No.
was a
Yeah, of
real
course.
challenge. But I just knew that I'd push myself. I could push myself and do what I needed to do to actually succeed. And so met the most beautiful people on that course and on other courses since, had some amazing mentors and coaches, and just been and another thing I would say is that, having discovered The Secret in 2018, then being guided to make the right decisions, meet the right people, take the right opportunities, then allowed me to
Mm.
take that path and grow a portfolio and help other people.
Can I ask you about not feeling the fear? And what does that feel like? Where do you think that comes from?
At the very outset,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
knowing, the knowing.
The
So
knowing.
yeah, so in terms of manifesting, you hear people say, "Ask, believe, receive." I feel that it's much more than believing. I feel it's more of a knowing. It's more
Mhm.
of a knowing that everything's going to be okay. Knowing that whatever happens, you can work it out. Knowing that everything's going to be okay, knowing that you're in the right place in this moment, knowing that I didn't know about the secret or the universe, particularly when I left work, but I did have this deep inner knowing that everything was going to be okay. So I just was super excited. There was no other emotion when I left other than true exhilaration and excitement. And then it's only having then gone on the journey, that's when the fear comes in, and when the reality kicks in of actually having to
Yeah.
do this stuff and push yourself and get outside, get over yourself and outside your comfort zone and overcome the challenges, that's then when it gets hard. But you got to do it anyway because you made the commitment. So
So I want to ask you about The Secret because, hand on heart, The Secret was not a book that I connected with at all.
yeah.
What was it about it that really connected you to it?
So I was actually at a property event, and one there was myself and three other ladies, and one of them mentioned The Secret, and I'd not heard of it, and then all of them at the table went, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah," and I thought, "Oh, I'm missing out here. I need to read this book." Anyway, I didn't read the book as it happened. I watched the film. And
Yeah.
there was an English version on YouTube, so I watched the film and I watched all the different teachers, and Lisa Nichols was on there, who I'd been following for ages anyway, and just the whole concept of it was just blew my mind, and I just thought, "Wow, this is incredible." And then from then on, I did read the book, but really that was just the start of me being open to manifesting in the law of attraction. I think for anybody that doesn't know anything, for somebody that doesn't know anything, I
Mm.
think for me, I would always say, go and read The Secret. Let that be the first step into the principles behind the law of attraction. Well, then there's so much more. There's so many different, there's so much more than just that. You couldn't just read The Secret and then you got it. There's so much more to understand. So then I went on, and that's where then I studied Abraham Hicks. I love Lisa Nichols, Bob Proctor, Wayne Dyer, Gabby Bernstein more recently. And so I'm just like a sponge now. Anything to do with the law of attraction, manifesting, the quantum field, anything. And of course, you've got Joe Dispenza as well. All in any of it. I just love all the content and continually learning and sharing and teaching, because I now teach this as well as part of my coaching.
And what led you to starting the Universe Café? Because that's where this goes into next, isn't it? And I suppose the other question I just want to throw in there, which I didn't include, was where did your book come? Was that before the Universe Café or after?
So my book is in creation.
Yeah.
It's not published. And that's evolved out of the work that I've done with business clients. So
I'm sure I have a vision of your book in my mind.
right, well, it's not quite finished, but it is in the making, definitely. And I have put, if you've looked at my LinkedIn, I've put it on my profile, author of Becoming a Business Attractor.
Oh,
So that's what it's called, and that's what will be going to print. And I'm manifesting it by putting it.
okay.
I'm putting it out there.
We'll talk about that again in a little bit and then. So what led you to start the Universe Café?
So after COVID, I realised that I really miss people. I was still doing property, but the property market had changed drastically after COVID, because we had that lockdown of the property market for 3 months, and then it just went crazy after. And then after it all, the dust settled and it all changed. And I ended up with shingles all in my head and all down my face. And it was a real wake up call to do something different. It was obviously my body telling me that it wasn't happy with the, what I was doing. So it made me have a look at everything. And I looked at my business and I thought, I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm not really enjoying this. And I'd realised at that point that I just swapped a job for a job working for somebody else to a job that I'd created for myself. And so during my, incapacity while I was unwell, I just sat there and thought, what would I really like to do? What would give me joy? And it was speaking to people, being with people, being in people's energy. I'd really missed people. And so that was then when I decided to, pivot and go into coaching. I'd been as a manager, I'd been a coach for forever, and then running my own businesses as well. It was the most natural thing to then just go and
Yeah.
be qualified as a transformational life and business coach. And a lady approached me for a job, and I didn't have a job, but I met her anyway, because I think people lead to people, and you just never know where the next conversation is going to take you. So I met up with her and we went for coffee. And it was after that conversation, I was chatting with her around what her interests were and, what she was doing in her life and everything. And she was talking about wanting to set up a menopause cafe. And then after that, I just thought it would be really lovely to keep in touch with her. But I didn't have the capacity in my life to keep in touch with her, because I've got a lovely family and lots of friends, and I didn't have a capacity for another coffee date or another lunch date or another. So I just thought, what about if I create a community and I bring people to me? So people that are like-minded, that want to grow and develop, personal development, change, create, have big dreams, create their dreams, and and so that evening, I thought, I'm going to create a cafe. A cafe meaning a community with a cafe vibe. And then it just came to me to call it the Universe Café. So nobody else, I had a look and I couldn't find it anywhere else other than serving food somewhere abroad. And I just thought, right, well, that's mine. I'm going to create the Universe Café community. So that's what I did. And the mission of the Universe Café is that regardless of your age, your gender, or your background, you can be, do, and have whatever you want with a clear vision, a plan, and you take inspired action. And within the Universe Café, the Universe Café creates a space for you to be able to come in and do that. It's a safe space for you to come in and look at things differently, a safe space to come and transform your life and business. And so I've had people give up jobs, start university degrees in their late 50s, people that have trained to become counsellors, people that have moved abroad, people that have done things that have been on their bucket list, like wing walking and crazy things. So it's just about life's for living today, being in the present moment right now. It's not for doing something, working today, and then when I've got this, then I can do that. It's doing the right now. So it's the within the Universe Café, I provide a space for people to have a life and business dream, and then create the plan to go and make it happen. And while they're taking the action to make it happen, actually dropping into their body, into the present moment, and doing that from a place of ease and flow and joy, and so that we're actually really having a great time right now. We're not waiting to be happy in 10 years. We're doing it right now.
Yeah. I think, because obviously I've been to the Universe Café,
Yeah.
and I think I've met people that perhaps I wouldn't have come across maybe somewhere down the line, but for that moment, you've got access to knowledge and stories of everybody else in the room and where people are, and perhaps things that they might be stuck on and move forward. So it's incredibly valuable and gives a lot.
Last year in 2024, so up to then it hadn't been business related. It had just been general, life and business. But then last year I started the business club, the Universe Cafe Business Club. And so it is, I found that 99% of the people in the Universe Cafe were business owners, one way or another. Either they were wholly in business, were either had a side hustle, or they were property investors, or had other streams of income, or were selling on eBay and or Amazon, or so all of these people were in business. So I set up the business club to again provide a space for people to come along and support each other in growing their businesses. So we get together every week and we celebrate our wins. We look at our challenges, and then we set a powerful intention for next week. So it's about unlocking people and unblocking people every single week so that they can keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And then there's other events as well. We have a manifesting money event every month. We have an abundance workshop every month, and there's been some amazing synchronicities that have happened after these abundance workshops. With people calling in exactly what they've asked for, and they've been really way out things. So yeah, the principle behind the Universe Cafe is this space for people to come and not be limited. Not be limited at all. Be totally open to possibility. I liken or each of us, to Barbie. If you look forward into your future, there's how many Barbies are there? There must be 50, 100, I don't know, every type of Barbie. And that's the possibility. You can choose to be any one of those. You can choose to be, do, and have any of that. You just have to lock onto it with your clarity of your vision, and then create the plan, and lock on to taking that action and co-creating. And then asking the universe as well, for what you want, and surrendering to and being open to receiving.
Amazing. Tell me a little bit more about the power of the law of attraction. How have you used it for yourself and then supported others to use it?
So I, as I said, I've read so much and learnt so much, and I've always loved planning. I've always been a planner. But just to think that I could start with a blank piece of paper and just create and write down anything, literally write down anything, and create my best year and create my best life. And, so to write down in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, life, and business, what I want those to look like. That's always where I start. When I want to come back to reconnecting with it. That's, always the first thing I do with coaching clients, whether it's group or one-to-one. Always, have a look at where you are now, have a look at what's going on in your life now. And very often we have to work out what we don't like in order to know what we do like. But then within those areas, determine what it is that you want, and then start putting those plans in place. Visualization is key. Getting into seeing it through to the end, actually visualizing it already happening. Imagine, so whatever it is, imagine that it's already happened, and imagine it's playing out on a TV screen. I say to people, we create a 5-year plan, a 1-year plan, then a 3 months, a 1 month, write down so we know what we need to action we need to take this week in order to get to that 5-year plan. So, and then every day visualize that, the outcome. So whether that is your 5-year plan, visualize that. What does it look like? Imagine it on a TV screen. Then imagine stepping into that TV screen and you're actually there. What does it feel like? Who's there with you? What color is everything? You need to feel it, touch it, taste it. Really absorb yourself in the feeling of it. And then it's about trying to get just to stay and embody that feeling, because that vibration will meet that vibration of the outcome, and that's the principle of the law of attraction. So we're manifesting all the time, but it's just about manifesting what you want rather than manifesting what you don't want. And it's exciting. It's so exciting to hear the things that people are calling in. And the thing is that we forget to ask. We forget that we are manifesting all the time, and we just sort of bob along on a surfboard, on the surfboard of life, allowing the ocean to take us, when actually we get to determine which direction we go in, and we get to ask for what we want. So I use it for myself all the time. So I have a morning routine and I visualize, I do gratitude, I sit in silence and listen to my higher self and intuition. My morning routine has a variety of different things in there, but the best book on that is, of course, Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning. And so really connecting with your goals, but then letting go of the outcome and focusing on your daily tasks. Right, we've done the visualization, we've done the goal setting, we've got the GPS is set for the day, if you like, and then let's now just get into what needs to be done, the daily tasks and the daily steps.
Do you ever meet any skeptics?
There are, yes, and there are many. I don't choose to put myself in those because I'm self-employed. I work from home. I create my own community, create my own events. I go to other events. I surround myself with people that are like-minded. I'm in the community of people that are like me. And nobody really has ever been. I suppose it's because I've never really put myself into those situations where we've had that negativity. I've not really received negativity.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm open to people not understanding. Open to, I completely get it that people think this is woo-woo and that people don't understand. But the fact is that we're all energy. We're all connected. The universe is just huge, and the possibility is also huge. There's so much we don't understand. There's so much, and so the best example I've ever heard is the radio is playing right now in this room that I'm in, and the room you're in, and everywhere actually. The radio is playing, but we can't hear it. Whereas if we get a radio and we tune into it, well, you can tune into just so much. So the law of attraction is about working out what you want and then tuning into it so that you can call it in. And I don't understand how I can pick up a mobile phone and speak to somebody in the rainforest somewhere at the other side of the world. I don't understand that, but it happens. I don't know if if you've been on the phone and people are talking, and I don't know if you've ever actually felt the wind coming out at the bottom of the phone. It's weird, but everything is energy. Energy is moving all the time. There's so much going on in this space in between in the quantum field that we don't really completely understand. But it's just being open to knowing that it's there and that it's just
open to possibility and potential. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you always been interested in the law of attraction? So even in your civil service years, was that already happening, or is it just since you changed your career?
Yeah, so it was just in 2018 when I was introduced to The Secret. That was the first introduction to the law of attraction. Yeah, and it just was, I found it totally fascinating. And I need to see this. I need to understand the science behind it. I need to understand the how and the why. And there are books on it. Lynn McTaggart's The Field is fantastic in explaining how, the energy is exchanged in tiny particles of light. And there's stuff out there if you want to go and find it as to
Mm.
the mechanics behind it.
I really like Gabriella Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back.
Yeah.
That I really love that book. If there was a book that I would have loved to have written, it has been that book. And I came across it because it fell off a bookshelf in Waterstones in Bury, I think it was.
You want me to read it? And she's got Super Attractor since then, and and others. I love Gabby Bernstein. So the work that I do is so I'm a business. I call myself a business coach, and so I help people look at the practical side of growing a business to grow their income and impact. So having been, I've done so many systems audits as part of my civil service career.
What are the biggest changes that you've seen, not only for yourself, but for others as well?
So, as part of the work that I do, I call myself a business coach. So, I look at the practical side of growing your business, the practical steps, how to increase your sales, how to do your marketing, understand your key performance indicators, all of the things that you would expect. But then, because we are human, and as solopreneurs and small business owners, we're everything. We are our business. We are our business. So it's really important that we start with ourselves and we connect with ourselves. This is where the law of attraction stuff comes in, and where the connecting with self and living in ease and flow and living from the inside out, and from a place of love, and getting into that right vibrational energy, the right frequency, why that is so important. So it's all of that as well that I do. It's all around. So I blend the strategic side of business with the law of attraction.
Yeah.
And so people have come to me, I've helped them get really clear on their vision, help them understand that it's actually possible. I've had people that have come to me not knowing that they've got a business, and then we've clearly identified that they have, and we've created a very successful, high yielding business. People that have been looking to ditch their businesses, and then we've worked together and we've brought in the manifesto and the law of attraction to call in the right employees and the right staff in order to be able to grow the business. And then they've gone on to 10K, regular 10K months, then 14K months. There was one lady that wanted to increase her income, and she does a range of things from low ticket to high ticket. And the easiest way to increase her income was to bring in more high ticket. She didn't change anything in terms of what she did. She just started visualizing the higher ticket. She started calling in the higher ticket. She started connecting with and imagining them coming through the door and paying her and doing the work. And the next time I saw her, she'd jumped, her income had jumped in by the thousands, and she'd not changed anything. She'd just changed her energy and changed what she was asking for and what she was looking for. Because again, what you focus on expands. So there's three ways that we can receive through the law of attraction. Just by really focusing on your goals, then you're opening your reticular activating system. So you're going to see a lot more. You're going to see opportunities. A bit like if I buy a blue Mini today, I'm going to see loads on the road. They were there yesterday, but all of a sudden today, my brain's filtering them in. So with that, you're just going to see so many more opportunities, more people that you might connect with an email, lots of different things. And then the second way is through your intuition, which is why I always advise clients to have a morning routine and to really connect with their intuition and the higher self, because I've definitely been guided through my life to do different things. And then the third way is synchronicities, which is the stuff that happens out of the blue. And there's been some amazing synchronicities. One lady, after one of our abundance sessions, wrote down that she wanted to call in another TV and production company because that was the work that she did. And then literally the biggest name in Hollywood got in touch with her the day after, and has done it. They've now arranged a contract for her to supply some goods. Another lady an interior designer wanted to call in a big house, and within 24 hours she'd She'd found the person. Another lady wanted a particular member of staff. And so she literally, like a menu, wrote down all the things that she wanted, all the attributes. She put it out there. And then that person walked into a business the day after, right down to the at the age of the children, to the job that she had, to, or even on a physical level, because when you let go, when you get calm and come from a place of love, it you just change your state. You actually change your human state. So you're putting out great energy. So life's just easier and better and happier and more positive. Life's just living in more full colour. There's one lady that really did strike me. She came to me with extreme back pain. She used to have shoulder injections. She couldn't lift a shoulder. She used to have steroid injections in her shoulder. She literally used to sit there in our sessions, not moving, because she was in so much pain with her back. And by the time we finished coaching, it had all gone because she was so relaxed, so calm. So she just sort of let everything go. She'd been doing a lot of journaling, and she'd really got deep into how she was feeling about things. And so yeah, that was a really profound physical effect, I will say. Yeah.
That's interesting. And what are your plans for the future? So, what's next?
So I am just in my element. I just love the Universe Café. I feel very, very blessed to be part of this community of beautiful people. So there are around 450 people in here at the moment, and I'd love that to grow. I'd love there to be thousands. So my vision is to co-create with the universe to bring more people into the Universe Café, and that's into the free Facebook group. And also, I'd love to welcome more people into the business club to have that wide impact of influencing as many people as possible. And then I run Law of Attraction Abundance events as well. So, when you add in the energetics to life, it's like, it's like adding a magical sprinkle.
Yeah.
And life, it just becomes more fun, and it's so exciting. And so I want people to feel the magic, and as I said before, live their life in full colour. And it's all possible for everyone.
And where can people find your work?
So through Facebook, the Universe Café Transform Your Life and Business. Through Eventbrite, Pam Shanker and the Universe Café. And then I have a website for the universecafe.co.uk and pamshanker.com.
We will make sure that those links are available for people to find your work as well. Thank you so much, Pam, for your time today. It's been a joy speaking to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Andrea. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
That was another inspiring and energizing episode on the podcast. Talking to Pam about stepping into your dreams, following your intuition, and learning to co-create with the universe. For more information on Pam's work, please check the show notes. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of The Connection Compass. If you think it will help someone else, please leave a review. If you have any questions, please visit Andrea L Evans' Facebook page. And remember to keep talking, keep connecting for a more interconnected world.